leaves. Sam looks at the envelope, then walks around the side of his car and gets into the driver's seat. He pauses with his hand on the envelope's flap, then looks up and smiles. He puts the envelope on the passenger seat.
You haven't got me yet, Hetty.
He smiles. Executive producer R. Scott Gemmell. Executive producer Shane Brennan.
Police have arrested a teenager they say called in a shooting threat at a Visalia high school. The latest in a few minutes.
16 years from today, Greg Gerstner will finally land the perfect cannonball. Unsuspecting friends? Check. Epic water displacement? Big check. A work of art that's only possible because Greg is already meeting all these same people at AARP volunteer and community events. They'll keep Greg active, involved, and mischievous, and help make sure his happiness lives as long as he does. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
Dr. Z, we love your skincare videos.
Thanks.
My daughter has sensitive skin. Same.
Try using All Free Clear as part of your family's laundry routine. It tackles impurities without leaving irritating residue for a clean that's gentle on skin. All Free Clear, the #1 doctor-recommended brand for sensitive skin.
You know, those mornings when it takes just a little bit extra to get you out of bed? This might be it.
Wake up to the goodness of Jimmy Dean.
Colbert's got Mary J. Blige, Monday on CBS.
New Tuesday.
This is a man's life at stake here.
We make one wrong move, thousands will die.
The FBI's are all new Tuesday starting 8/7 Central on CBS.
Step into your best prize ever, right?
True Lies. New Wednesday, 10/9 Central on CBS.
Bobby, our American Wagyu roast beef, or our classic cheesesteaks with grilled steak or chicken. Capriati's. Eat extraordinary. Order now at capriati's.com.
Eyewitness News starts now.
State and local leaders take their main concerns from the state's capital to the nation's capital. We have a full report on what was brought to the table. And thousands of people gather at the Lemoore Naval Air Force Base today to welcome home those who serve our country, the Naval Station, after 8 months away.
This is Murrow and Emmy Award-winning CBS 47 Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Esteban Reynoso. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. A 16-year-old is behind bars in the South Valley. He was arrested for allegedly making high school shooting threats that law enforcement has confirmed are a hoax. But they say the high school, or one of the high schools in Visalia District, has received another threat this afternoon. Saturday night, a social media post was circulating, leading many to believe that a shooting would take place at Redwood High School on Monday. Visalia police detectives with the Violent Crimes Unit started their investigation. They found that this threat was a hoax, but after the teenager's arrest, another threat was made to Visalia Unified School District for another shooting. Police are still working on figuring this one out tonight. There will be an increased law enforcement presence throughout all VUSD campuses this week, not just at Redwood. Visalia PD sent us this quote saying all threats will be taken seriously and those posting such threats will face both legal and school discipline charges, they say. In our nation's capital, hundreds of business and political leaders from the greater state capital region are in Washington, D.C. to advocate for key issues facing our state, all part of the 51st annual Cap to Cap conference. And our Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace gives us a look at some of the priorities attendees plan to address.
Hello from Washington, D.C., and let me tell you, it was a busy day at Cap to Cap. Attendees sharing what they hope to accomplish ahead of meetings with some of the nation's most influential leaders, all to address some of the key issues we face back home. Applause and smiles today as meetings officially got underway at the annual Cap to Cap conference in our nation's capital. Organized by the Sacramento Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, this is the 51st year Metro Chamber has put on this program.
We're here in person. Yay! Yay! I'm so excited.
This meeting included just a handful of the more than 400 attendees from various sectors across the California capital region, including 110 elected representatives, all of them here to meet with federal officials. The goal? To secure billions of dollars of funding and resources for back home. The delegation includes 12 different policy teams, each focusing on a unique issue that directly impacts our area. One issue top of mind, water. And especially this year, the importance of flood control.
What we did see was some catastrophic failures of levee systems.
Sacramento City Fire Chief Chris Costamagna is referring to the series of atmospheric rivers that slammed the state this winter, at times leading to deadly results. He hopes his presence in Washington will help secure funding for training that could save lives in future storms.
To have those first responders trained for a flood event or swift water event, it takes extra training above and beyond what you receive when you come into the fire service.
Such training, he says, is particularly significant now, given the record snowpack and soon-to-be mega snow melt that already is starting to pose challenges in parts of the state.
The rivers are cold now, they're high, and there's a continued threat for drownings.
And while that's one concern heading into summer, so too, he says, is the threat of potentially destructive fires. He hopes federal resources will help with forest management and increased staffing.
We need staff, and staffing in the fire service is a crisis nationwide, not just in California. So we're looking at new ways to staff our fire departments, and some of that comes from the federal government.
Another major issue at the conference, agriculture.
California, we're the largest producer of foods.
That's why Cap to Cap attendees are putting a large focus on the Farm Bill, a major package of investments Congress authorizes every 5 years. What goes into that legislation could have major implications for the ag industry, food security programs, and ultimately what you buy at the supermarket.
We want to strengthen agriculture and our farmers and make sure that by creating more local markets for them, they're able to stay viable and people know where their food comes from. That's really important for us, and for being America's farm to fork capital, we want to be every farm to every fork.
And homelessness, infrastructure, and economic development are other topics dominating this conference. And speaking of the economy, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is scheduled to speak before the conference later this week. Reporting at our nation's capital, Eitan Wallace, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Eitan, thank you. A man's death in Fresno is prompting Fresno County Sheriff investigators to take a closer look after the man was found dead underneath a car. They say some of the evidence around the person's death has led investigators to think the man's death isn't entirely an accident at the moment. They say there is still lots of work they need to do to figure out exactly what happened to the man that led to their death.
We decided to treat it as a suspicious death just based on some of the circumstances that we found out initially, preliminarily. We consulted with our detective. They decided it was a good idea to respond. So right now we're treating it as suspicious, and it could be accidental too.
A friend of the man found him as he was and called 911. The area was shut off for several hours. Deputies are looking for video and surveillance to try and see if they can spot what happened. New at 11, more than 300 sailors returned home to their family and friends after almost 8 months overseas. They touched down safely at Lemoore Air Naval Station. CBS 47's Brett Rodriguez shows us what it was like for families who have waited a long time for this moment.
Each second between heartbeats felt longer on Sunday as family and friends waited for loved ones to return to Naval Air Station Lemoore. They spent nearly 9 months apart as sailors on USS George H.W. Bush aircraft carrier were stationed overseas. The 260-day deployment was a first for military wife Tricia Sicily.
This is our first one, so we've never gone through anything like this before. We also have a almost 2-year-old son, and so I've been by myself with him the entire time, which is just a journey navigating that by myself as a first-time mom.
Besides the help of family and friends, she says the main thing that has got her through the months of separation is the brief moments of communication with her husband.
But with the Navy and aircraft carriers, there's times where you don't hear from them at all, and most communication is via email.
While the deployment has been hard for many, Heng Win says after going through 3 deployments as a military wife, she has gotten used to it.
Kind of adjust better. They're all different. It doesn't get easier, it just gets different, and hopefully have grown from the past deployments.
The wait finally came to an end after the plane wheels touched down and a short bus ride brought them back to their families.
Yeah, every day I miss her and my son. You know, it was the hardest part of it for sure. If it wasn't for that, deployments are easy, but, you know, thinking about her at home, you know, it always, you know, broke my heart every day. So I'm just happy I was able to come home to her.
Rhett Rodriguez, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Happening around the state, lots of debris has to be removed from rivers, lakes, and canals. Not just around our area is this a big task, but also in other lakes around the state. California Park Rangers say winter storms rain brought down a lot of dead and old trees, and many of them are ending up in rivers and lakes. The unusual amount of debris in the lake is prompting park rangers to caution boaters ahead of the summer season. They also warn this time of year the water is much colder due to recent snowmelt. One boat owner says taking the boat out on the lake with that much debris isn't worth it.
Anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 worth of damage easily in a blink of an eye.
I don't think I've ever seen floating trees in here before. I've seen debris, but to see floating trees in there is pretty bad.
Troy Caroy says he's spent a lot of money recently to fix his boat last year, and the last thing he wants to have happen are more damages by that floating debris.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
And in the Bay Area, Governor Gavin Newsom says he's calling to stop fentanyl trafficking into the city. 50 people have overdosed. 40% jump compared to last. Several of those overdose deaths were in the homeless population of the city. The governor said in a statement released, "We must
someone
around the Tenderloin area. As we know, and only takes 7 of the
time. Starting Monday, news from D.C. Our first guest, former Vice President Mike Pence. Trust News Nation to define the issues, connect the players, and question D.C.'s decision makers. With the most journalists and the best political team anywhere, taking on the topics that matter most to you. The Hill, a new show starting Monday, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on News Nation.
This is how legends are made. Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado. The turbo hybrid. Visit your Central Valley Chevrolet dealers.
At Long John Silver's.
Overwhelming. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Motion Madness Electric Bikes is Fresno's only full-service e-bike showroom. We have the top brands in stock and ready to go. Already own an e-bike? We service all brands and can even convert the bike you love to electric. Motion Madness Electric Bikes, Fresno's e-bike experts.
Eyewitness News is brought to you by Radiance Tax Services. This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
A major wrestling tournament for young children, teens, and high school level competitors took place in Fresno over the weekend. This all weekend long event went for 12 hours each day with age groups ranging from 8 to 18 competing. There was an award ceremony for all of the competitors, and they didn't stop the event until there was a decided winner. That's commitment. Around 1,700 students participated in this tournament, and organizers say that hundreds of matches took place each day.
Age groups ranging from 8 to 18, and we were here yesterday for 12 hours wrestling on 1,600 ballots.
Incredible. Around 4,500 people went to the Selland Arena to watch these wrestlers compete for the 2 days. Organizers say it takes around 200 people and 68 officials to make the tournament go. And congratulations are in order for some Madera Unified Robotics students. They are world champions. The students from the Madera Unified Madtown Robotics team went undefeated at the Robotics World Championship in Houston. The team was made up from students from Taurus High School, Madera High School, and Sherman Thomas Charter School. Students say they were shocked to see they had won, but say it's great to see their hard work pay off.
For us, it meant a lot because it meant that in the end, all of our hard work paid off.
That's so cool. The three-day competition was held in Houston, Texas, and a big congratulations and a welcome home to them. Now turning to the Oval Office, this weekend campaigning for the 2024 Republican nomination is already underway. Several potential challengers were also making their case for new leadership in the Oval Office, and some could formally enter the race this week. Bradley Blackburn has more.
And I will continue to fight for our values.
Former President Donald Trump spoke via video to the Iowa Faith and Freedom Coalition Saturday night.
When we become the very important 47th President of the United States.
But some of his potential challengers for the Republican nomination were there in person, with the subject of abortion front and center.
The Supreme Court didn't turn the issue of abortion over to the states. They turned it over to the American people.
Former Vice President Mike Pence says he will finalize his plans within weeks. But former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson will announce his campaign Wednesday.
Our best opportunity is to have a new face, someone with consistent conservative leadership.
The lies of the left have been disproven by my life.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is also expected to enter the race, and so is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who spoke in Utah Saturday at a Republican event.
Leaders take the bull by the horns and make the decisions for themselves.
Former President Trump was in Florida rallying supporters at a pizza place. Even as he faces criminal charges in New York and multiple other investigations, he has a powerful hold on some voters.
I'm on the Trump train all the way.
The GOP nominee is likely to face President Biden in 2024. Multiple sources tell CBS News the president may formally announce his re-election bid this week. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
It was record store day not too long ago. Coming up tonight, we'll check in with record store owners to see how it went for them. And taking a look at weather, we've got some heating up temperatures. But taking a look at your 4-day allergy forecast first, brought to you by Boz Allergy, Asthma and Sinus Center. You're looking at medium to medium high levels over the next 4 days. Stay with us. We'll have your full forecast.
1,000 positions hiring. Endless opportunity. Benefit from world-class training. A 6-figure starting salary. And make a positive difference in your community. Apply now. Scan the code or visit jointhechp1000.com.
Real-time views where you live. The Valley Cam Network gives you the latest conditions live. See them on Eyewitness News or online at yourcentralvalley.com.
God created a garden, and along came Lotus Gardens Outdoor Living Center to help you install a water-saving landscape. And the people rejoiced because God created a garden, and Lotus Gardens Outdoor Living Center brought it to life.
the GMC Sierra with hands-free driving. Yeah, it rocks. Step up to GMC with 0.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on 2022 Sierra light-duty crew cab models.
We all need something different from our home, and sometimes that's just more house. That's why Golden One helps you get more.
You're approved.
From lower rates to expert advice from people who can guide you through the process. So whether it's more space to share a meal or somewhere to entertain new friends, we'll get you into your perfect home. As a not-for-profit credit union, we make sure you get more, so you can be more.
At Rally's, I'm in the driver's seat. Give me that $5 meal deal with a Rally burger. Better yet, make it a mushroom Swiss burger, plus famous seasoned fries, 8-piece chicken bites, and a drink for just $5. Yeah, all that. On second thought, why not go big? Give me double the shrooms. I want a fried mushroom Buford. Mush boom. Mushroom Swiss burger or fried mushroom Buford. Whatever you order, own it at Rally's.
Now, your CBS 47 pinpoint weather forecast.
Happy Sunday evening, everybody. It was a really nice day out there today. As far as for the Central Valley, it was a little bit on the warmer side, though. We saw a lot of cooler temperatures really around the state, especially in Southern California and on the Bay side. But as far as here, things are going to start to heat up over the next coming days, especially on that Thursday and Friday leading up into the weekend. But first, we're taking a look at our Valley Cam. This is here from Palm and Herndon in North Fresno. And if you look really closely, I'm kind of blocking it here, but these trees, these palm trees are really moving back and forth right now. That's because wind is another factor still over these past few days. That's kind of been the big story as well. As far as it's been staying in the South Valley, but right now you could see it right there, Fresno at 14 miles an hour. But down in the South Valley, you're still getting some pretty good gusts of wind there. 12 miles an hour at Hanford and Visalia, 7 in Lemoore. But up in the foothills, things are looking relatively calm. Mariposa and Shaver looking like nothing's registering up there, so it has to be below 3 miles an hour. So that's pretty good news for the foothills. As far as for the valley floor, really everything was really calm. If you look towards the mountains, the smog was basically all over the place today. But if you're looking at the mountains right here over the past 12 hours, you could see they had a lot of cloud coverage. That has since kind of cleared away, and we saw in our Valley Cam, we had really clear skies, and that's going to be sort of a rinse and repeat cycle that we're going to have. It's kind of similar to what we've had over the past few days into this coming week. However, the temperatures are just going to be a lot warmer. So things are relatively calm right now, but again, temperatures are starting to heat up. Average is about 76, so this is a little bit higher than what we saw just a few days ago. We're normally about the 72, 74. Now we're starting to get into the mid to high 70s. Here, though, today we hit 83. The lows are still pretty high as well, so hopefully when you're falling asleep, you may want to crack open a window a little bit, maybe take off those thick blankets that we've had over the winter months, because now temperatures are going to be pretty warm over the nighttime. As far as for right now, 54 is going to be the low in Fresno. Down in the South Valley, things are cooling off just a little bit, but the north, you're looking at 50, potentially high 40s. That's what we're kind of hoping for up there. Yosemite still staying pretty warm, though, 42 degrees. As far as for tomorrow, kind of similar to what we had for today. We're not going to see that heat up, that rise of temperatures until about Tuesday or Wednesday. Then Thursday is when we really get hit. 84 in Fresno tomorrow, 85 down in the South Valley. And the South Valley is really where we're going to start to see those warmer temperatures. It's relatively where we always see the warm temperatures this time of year. 82 in Visalia, and up in the mountains, 63 in Yosemite and 62 in Shaver Lake. So still a really nice day. If you have the day off tomorrow, might as well hit the lake. Not a bad time. As far as for the valley forecast, this is what I'm talking about. So as far as Monday and Tuesday, you're looking at 84 and 83, but then Wednesday we hit 90. Then on Thursday, that's where we top out for the week at 94. And we did have some potential for scattered showers over the early weekdays starting on Monday and Tuesday, but those have seemed to kind of clear away. Not too much cloud coverage. We're going to have a lot of sunshine over the next 3 days. Then on Thursday and Friday, it's going to be a little bit of a mix. We're going to be slightly cloudy, but those high temperatures, and they start to stick around. You could see that on the next weekend, 92. But even the lows, we've got a big temperature change difference. You're talking about 40 degrees between daytime and nighttime. As far as for the mountain forecast, though, you're looking at still pretty warm temperatures Thursday and Friday, all the way until next weekend. You're looking at 75, 76 degrees. So expect that warm up really throughout the entire state. Coming up next in sports, Bulldog baseball looks for another big series win, and the Bulldog softball team tries to finish off a series sweep against former coach Linda Garza and Nevada. Sports Central is next. Stay with us.
At Central Floor Supply, our new showroom is filled with name brand, waterproof flooring, and luxurious carpets. We have better selection, better quality, and much better prices than the big box stores. For the best in flooring and real customer service, visit Central Floor Supply.
What makes Best Reviews the best reviews?
Milk?
They have an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on pretty much everything. So you can be confident that whatever you're buying is right for you, no matter what life throws at it. Like your daughter Clementine, for example. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Introducing Capriotti's newest spin on extraordinary. The all-new American Wagyu French dip. Made with tender slices of Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms. Grilled to perfection with Swiss cheese. And ready to dip, dunk, or dive into Capriotti's flavorful au jus. Take the most extraordinary bite of your life. For a limited time, order online from Capriottis.com or from our app. Capriotti's. Eat extraordinary.
Congratulations to our Central Valley football player prospects. Go to yourcentralvalley.com for updates or scan the QR code now. Local draft coverage on CBS 47 is brought to you by Radiance Insurance.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota.
Let's go!
A new season means new opportunities. Discover action-packed adventure in a brand new Toyota truck. Get low 3.99% APR on the legendary Tacoma. Check out the powerful Tundra or lease a Tacoma double cab 4x4 for as low as $369 a month.
Grab the keys, come on, let's go!
Toyota, let's go places.
Now, Sports Central, presented by Toyota.
According to a statement from Oregon State school president Sunday night, former Bulldog basketball player Scott Barnes, now the athletic director at Oregon State, is showing signs of improvement and has been able to communicate with family members throughout the day. Now, Barnes reportedly experienced a medical emergency Saturday night in Fresno, where he was being honored at Fresno State's annual Top Dog banquet. He's being treated at St. Agnes. Barnes played 2 years for Boyd Grant's Bulldogs in the mid-'80s, averaged nearly 13 points per game for the '84 team that made the NCAA tournament. College baseball now. Fresno State wrapping up their 4-game set with San Jose State. That's Charles McAdoo there going the opposite way in the third. It was 2-0 Spartans. The Dogs would answer right back, though. They get 4 in the bottom half of the inning, 2 coming on this Murph Gray chopper that is misplayed by the Spartans. The Dogs ultimately let the lead get away, though. The Spartans win this one 9-5. The Dogs are tied for 3rd in the conference now with 9 Mountain West games left to play. Well, speaking of Murph Gray, the freshman third baseman has made an immediate impact. He leads the Dogs at homers and batting average and has been named the Mountain West Freshman of the Week 4 weeks in a row. It's reminding some of another big bat who came through Fresno State.
I mean, it's a crazy comparison. I'm never going to say anybody's Aaron Judge, but the game I had to go coach third base, I haven't felt uncomfortable like that in the third base box probably since Judge, just because the ball comes off his bat different, and if he turns one, you're a little defenseless out there.
It means a lot. It means I'm doing well, and means that, you know, things are going good. You know, just being here, I'm just being one of the guys trying my best to do what I can for the team.
For a longer story on the Madera South product, head to the sports section of YourCentralValley.com. Meantime, former Diamond Dog Taylor Ward went deep against the Royals Sunday for his 3rd homer of the season. And guess what? Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani followed with home runs as well. That's back-to-back-to-back jacks for the Angels. They win this one 4-3. From baseball to softball, the Dogs looking to sweep a weekend series from Nevada, coached by former Bulldog head coach Linda Garza. Bottom first, Vanessa Hernandez drilling a base hit to right field. The Dogs would score 5 total in the inning, and that's all they needed. They take it 5-1 over the Wolfpack. The Dogs are all alone in 3rd place in the Mountain West at 9-7. Nevada is 7-9 and in 6th place. 4 more NBA playoff games Sunday, highlighted by the Warriors and Kings in San Francisco. Now, Steph Curry 40 seconds. Curry called a timeout. To get back in and actually have a chance to win it, but the three from Harrison Barnes is just long. Warriors win by 1. Wasn't good for our league club. Grizzlies and Rawhide lost 5-3. Dodgers win.
Don't love us, but people here do.
The heavy hitters never stop fighting for you.
The insurance companies know the Curtis Legal Group wins.
And we win a lot. Call the Curtis Legal Group.
Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. And if you're looking for fun, if you're looking for adventure, or if you're just looking for something new, we've got Get great offers on our entire lineup of Go Anywhere, Do Anything Jeeps during the Jeep. We look forward to come join our family. Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat on Blackstone, Dillard, and Sierra. Entered.
They've seen it all and experienced lawyers.
They're great with clients, tough on opponents, and they're a force in the community.
I can't say enough good things about them. Everything they do is first rate.
Good people, tough lawyers. They always give 100%.
If I were in California and needed a lawyer, I'd call Berg Injury Lawyers.
Berg Injury Lawyers. 800-400-BERG.
Insurance companies don't love us, but people here do.
The heavy hitters never stop fighting for you.
The insurance company, Curtis Legal Group.
Xfinity On Demand and click Get Local.
Buying and collecting those vinyls. My favorite is Jim Croce. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.
Month of April. Going to be raising that cheese. Not water, but lots of dough. Hallelujah, it's raining. Over $400,000 in cash and prizes. You could be one of 700 promotional winners this month. Leave those umbrellas at home, players, all April long. Only at the Tachi Palace Casino Resort. This is Party.
Come to W. Made for lounging in your pool. Comfortable, beautiful, affordable, built to last in all kinds of weather. W Furniture is the best brands with lots of variety immediately available. So take it home from